Good evening and welcome back to Innsbruck. We had one speed climbing final last night. Tonight we have another two for you. This time it's the oldest group of climbers represented here in Innsbruck, the juniors, that's climbers born in 1998 or 99, and the youngest group, the Youth B, climbers born in 2002 or 2003. And the speed wall about 50 metres away from me is currently bathed in sunshine. That's the first time we've been able to say that so far in this Youth World Championships. We've already had our bouldering program and the lead climbing starts tomorrow, but in the meantime it is all about speed climbing, and as I say, two finals to bring you this evening. There we can see the wall, and as I say, dry, not quite warm, but certainly dry. We didn't have the best of weather the first few days in Innsbruck, but it's clear, perfect conditions right now, chilly, without being cold, absolutely ideal. And as I mentioned, we've got Youth B final and the junior final, obviously in both men's and women's categories. The rules are as in a Speed World Cup. 16 climbers in the initial round, becomes 8, becomes 4, becomes 2, becomes 1. Couple of things to remind you if you haven't been watching much speed climbing this year. No false starts are allowed. There are no second chances. If you false start once, that's the end of your competition. We also have a different start procedure as well. So instead of a randomized beep that the climbers go on, there are 3 beeps and they go on the last one. Even though we have the set starting procedures, there's still been a surprising number of false starts. Hopefully we won't see any tonight. We saw a lot in Arco in the Senior World Cup just over a week ago, so it's not just the junior athletes who are taking a bit of time to adapt to the new rules. The same applies for the seniors as well. There's Christophe Bion, our technical delegate here in Innsbruck. He has been a busy man. There's the crowd growing and having sword fights on the bottom left. Should be underway any second. As I say, it will be Youth B, climbers born in 2002 or 2003, and juniors climbers born in 1998 or 1999. Both finals back to back. We won't be coming off air, we'll be staying on for both, and we've been told that there will be very small or no delay at all between the two finals. We're just about ready to go. The various supporters, friends, family and teammates beginning to fill the venue. Wonderful to see all this sunshine after all the problems we had keeping walls dry and keeping judges dry and all the other things that go along with it. Great to finally have some sunshine, some warmth here in Innsbruck.
From the Czech Republic,
So we're underway. This is female Youth B. Polina Kulagina of Russia. You can see her just being clipped in there, and her opponent Teresa Chipulkova of the Czech Republic on the right. So like in a Senior World Cup, we start out with 16, then becomes 8. And they are narrowed down until we have the small final. Speed climbing is equivalent of the 3rd, 4th playoff, and the big final, the race for the gold and the silver medal. And remember, at this stage of the competition, it's not about time, it's about beating the person next to you. Kulagina on the left, Chubukova on the right. Kulagina got the better start and is extending that lead as she climbs. Chubukova not able to live with this speed, and Kulagina will take it in 9.34. Interesting feature of last night's Youth A speed climbing final was how expertly climbers moderated their pace as the competition went by. It's something we see in the Senior World Cups. Really impressive to see how it was done last night, even amongst junior athletes. Ideally you want to get faster, measure your pace precisely in each round, do what needs to be done. So Giulia Ranni of Italy is out, and Jana Goldstein of Russia on the right. Both started well, and this is a tighter race, but Randy opening up in that middle section. Just struggled with one reach there, but other than that, it's been a pretty flawless run, and she will top out in 10.71.
Now we have Iran on the left with Maya Darabian, and Ukraine on the right, Sofia Gladka.
So, Maya Darabian, Iran, Sofia Gladka of Ukraine, Gladka on the right.
At your marks. Ready?
Darabian on the left, Gladka on the right. And both started well, but Darabian slipped almost immediately. Gladka slightly slower through the middle section, but it's that consistent, neat climbing that looks like it could get the job done for her. She needs to be careful she doesn't get caught. She just about takes it. 12.19 for her. Another look at it. Ended up being tight, that one. She seemed to just lose a bit of momentum in the middle section. Valeria Slobochikova of Russia racing against her compatriot Anastasia Komacheva. Russia, extraordinarily strong speed climbing nation. Both away first time, no problems on the false start so far in this Youth B final here in Innsbruck, and Slobochikova looks like she's going to take this one. She is. 10.28 sees her through. That's what the top looked like. It was tight. She was in the lead from the start and held on.
Next two starters, Russia on the left with Daria Potapova. USA on the right with Mia
So
Bawendi.
another Russian climber, Daria Potapova, takes Mia Bawendi of the States. Apologies if you are just joining us, you're expecting this competition to get away a bit early. We were scheduled to start at 5 PM in Innsbruck time, but the decision was taken last night to bump that back to 6 PM. We are underway now. Potapova on the left, Bawendi on the right. Both get away cleanly, and this is another tight race. Potapova looked like she had an early lead, but Bawendi's reined her in, and this is going to be our tightest race yet. Potapova takes it 9.7 flat.
Daria Potapova.
Let's have another look at that. We are using exclusively auto belay systems these days in speed climbing. Sometimes we used auto belays last season, and sometimes it would be belaying the traditional style. But it's all auto belays now, in an effort to avoid too many technical incidents. Of course, the problem with the human belayer is sometimes they just make a slight mistake while taking in, and the rope can either end up too slack and getting caught in the climber's arms. So that's what the IFSC were trying to avoid. It's auto belays all the way. So Jean Villoni of France, Anna Kalanka of Italy on the right. Again, a clean start from both. Kalanka's got a bit of work to do to catch up here, and she'll have even more now that she's slipped about halfway up the route. 10.58.
And it's win for Capucine Billon.
Nicely done, nice clean run, 10.58. Third, third fastest time we've seen today.
For Russia.
Fourth fastest, excuse me, out of the first 6 races.
From the right for Korea.
Kamila Kushaeva, again of Russia, and Sion Park. You can see her there over to the right. We saw her in action earlier in the week in the bouldering. She's back in the speed climbing. Remember, of course, there's also the combined discipline here in Innsbruck, the Olympic format that will be taking place next weekend.
At your marks.
There we see it, Kamila Kushaeva, Sion Park, Korea on the right hand side.
Ready?
You can hear there the 3 beeps I mentioned, no longer randomised. The climbers know when they're going, and it's brought the times tumbling down, and Kamila Kushaeva is looking to record a fast time here, and she does it, 9.62. Let's have another look at that top out there. It's a relatively close race. So this is our last race in the round of 16.
From the United States of America. On lane A,
Chiara Pelicane-Hart, the USA, taking on her compatriot Sienna Kopf, who we also saw in action earlier this week. Like her star, gives the crowd a quick rave. Focused, but not too focused. So both climbers clipped in and ready to go. It's America versus America.
At your marks.
Chiara Pelicane-Hart closest to the camera. Just in the background there, Sienna Kopf.
Ready?
3, 2, 1. Underway. And again, no false starts in this round of 16. Good start from both climbers. Pelicane-Hart has a slight lead, I think, but Kopf is reining it in, and this is going to be one of our tightest races yet. And it's Kopf who takes it, 10.17. Very close race. Let's have another look at that top out. It's 0.05 of a second in it. Both climb neatly. There's a slight slip there from Kopf, just to the right foot. A couple of moves from the top. Had enough to take it, 10.17.
with the main Youth B final.
So, expecting now it will be a male Youth B final. Yes, it will. I recognise there Anton Kuber of Russia, Leonardo Gianotti of Italy.
First climb on the right from Italy, Leonardo Gianotti.
So this is male Youth B. As I say, this is climbers born in 2002 or 2003. It's the youngest category that takes part in the Youth World Championships.
At your marks. Ready?
Kuber on the left, Gianotti on the right, and Gianotti slips almost immediately, and Kuber's got some real pace through this middle section. He's going to take some catching, 7.37, very fast time from him.
Clear win for Anton Kuba.
Anton Kuber takes that one. Really fast time. At first glance at least, a pretty faultless time. Faultless run.
So the next two guys are both from Kazakhstan. On the left, Beknur Altupekov. On the right, Omar Almatov.
So it's an all Kazakhstan race this time. Beknur Altunbekov and Omar Almatov. Almakov will be on the right, sorry. Altunbekov on the left. You see it. Almatov staring at his opponent rather than at the hold. Just called down from the judges. We have been having one or two issues, I'm told, with our sensors during the qualifying round. That certainly seems to be the case when I was watching them. I'm not an expert on these things, but apparently there are some sections of the timing pad that don't seem to be working properly, so you have to be quite specific with where you place your foot on the timing pad. Seems to be the issue.
At your marks. Ready?
And Almatov got a really good start there. If there was a problem with his timing pad, it certainly didn't affect him as he got underway, and he's got a lead that he's just about holding on to, and he takes in 8.58. Let's have another look. There it is. Nice clean run.
Next to come on lane A from Poland, Milos Bujak. On lane B from Russia.
So on the left, closest to the camera, you can see with the glasses on there, Milos Bujak of Poland, Mikhail Babachev of Russia is on the right, furthest from the camera. For those of you just joining us, this is the Youth B male final in the speed climbing here in Innsbruck Youth World Championships. This is our third race. Milos Bujak closest to the camera, Mikhail Babachev on the right. And Bujak sprung out of the blocks. He's got real pace through that middle section. Reminds me of Marcin Zienski's compatriot, and so do the times, 7.25. Very fast from Bujak. Let's have another look at the top. As I said during the race, looks like Marcin Zienski, that scurrying style. Superb time. 7.25 gives you some idea. The senior women's world record is only 7.32, so that's the sort of speed already that these climbers have got. Jordan Fishman of the USA. There he is, just jogging on the spot. And then Sharif of France, his opponent. The French team seems to have gone big on the hair dye this week. Lillian no different.
At your marks.
So Jordan Fishman, there he is, closest to the camera, takes on Ilian Sharif of France. Underway, and it's a good start from both, but Fishman's got some real pace through this middle section. Big slip from him, could cost him though, but it doesn't because there's a big slip from Sharif. 8.57 takes it for Jordan Shipman. As I say, he was well clear there, but a big slip. Let's have a look. It's just on the feet. Sharif could have taken it, but then had a big slip of his own, and as it was, it ended up being very tight. But it's Jordan Fishman, excuse me, who progresses. It's close to the camera. Jacopo Stefani takes on Sculling Darren of the USA. So USA just had a climber through. Could have another here.
At your marks.
They take their marks. Jacopo Stefani on the left. Sculling Darren on the right. 2-1. And there's a false start there.
False off the right.
Darren Sculling. I'm sorry. Sorry.
And that is a false start from Sculling. Unfortunately, it's the first one we've seen in this Youth B final. Let's have another look. Wasn't by much. That was a tiny false start, but a false start is a false start. Remember, of course, it's not about going before the beep. It's if you go within 0.1 seconds of the beep. It's about human reaction time. So, Jacopo Stefani will have to go on his own. No pressure, of course. Just needs to record a time. How much will he moderate? Not that much. Not quite at full tilt, but not too far off. Slowing down now. Just needs to get the job done. And does 8.28. Interesting enough, that was actually faster than Jordan Fishman's time that won in the previous race, because Jordan had a big slip, about 2/3 height. Jacopo Stefani. Fast, but not as fast as we know he can go.
Next athlete on the left for Russia, Igor Bobrenev.
Closest to the camera there, Igor, Bobrunev. Fyodor Razinkov of Ukraine. On the right, there they are.
At your marks.
Igor Bobrunev, there he is, close to the camera. Razanov on the right. This time we have a clean start, and Razanov looked like he had an early lead. This is very tight though. Bobrunev perhaps slightly ahead now, we shall see. And it's Razinkov who takes it. Bobrunev didn't manage to press the buzzer correctly. Razanov takes it in 8.10.
Again, Russia with Yevgeny Kusi. And on lane B for Japan, Irei Nukui.
So first Japanese climber who we've seen today, Ryuhei Nukui. Remember that name? If you don't, you might be hearing it a bit more in the future. Go back and check our bouldering coverage and you'll understand why. Another supremely talented Japanese climber. No slouch in the speed either. Takes on Evgeny Kuzin of Russia. Kuzin closest to the camera, Nukui on the right. And they get away cleanly, and Kuzin has got a really nice scurrying style through this middle section and should take this one, mistakes aside. He does. 7.53 sees him through. 9.63 for his opponent. But look there. Nice top out. Ryuhei Nukui, a man with a bright future. Just under 10 seconds for him. It looks pretty happy.
On the right for Russia, Ivan Semlyakov.
So Josh Murring of the USA takes on Ivan Semlyakov. Murring closest to the camera with the glasses on. Semlyakov on the right. Just ignore those graphics. That's Semlyakov on the right, Murring on the left. And this is tight. Semlyakov looked like he had a lead, stumbled, then Murring stumbled. Not the neatest of races, but 9.03 sees Josh through. So they both stumbled, as I say, it wasn't the neatest, mistakes on both sides. But at this stage of the competition, it's about beating the person next to you, not the clock. Josh managed that. 9.03 sees him through.
Please welcome Polina Kulagina from Russia.
Polina Kulagina just setting the timing pad. As I say, we had one or two issues with them. We believe they've been resolved, but that explains the red tape on them. The judges were making a few minor changes. Taking on Giulia Randi of Italy.
At your marks.
So Polina Kulagina on the left. 3, 2, 1. Underway. Clean start from both, and Kulagina opened up a body length lead, and if anything that is extending as she heads towards the top of the route and tops in 9.22. Have another look at the top out. Polina Kulagina makes her way off, knowing that she will be in the top 4. Sofia Gladka of the Ukraine, closest to our camera, there she is. Valeria Slovojakova, Russia on the right.
At your marks.
Second race of this round of 8 in the Female Youth B World Championships here in Innsbruck. And they're underway, and Slobochakova has a slight lead, but again this is tight. She's just climbing that bit more neatly through the middle section though, and she will take it in 10.04. There it is. And it's 10.76 from Sofia Gladka. Daria Potapova of Russia out. There she is, just feeling the starting holes in the background. Capucine Vignon of France.
At your marks.
So you'll hear the beeps. This is the starting procedure. It's 1, 2, 3, and then they go. And they're underway. Potapova got a bit of a sluggish start and is going to have to work hard to catch up, and she seems to be doing that pretty well at this stage. She's now developed a lead of her own and takes it in 9.51. There you see it, tight in the end. Had a very slow start there. Daria Potapova still got 9.51. Second fastest of the 3 times we've seen in this round of 8. So Sienna Kopf back out once again, waves to the crowd. Kamila Kushaeva, her opponent. So just ignore those graphics there. That's Kamila Kushaeva on the left and Sienna Kopf for the USA on the right.
Back to presentation.
Athletes called back to the presentation. Some clarification required about the starting pad there. As I mentioned, we have had 1 or 2 issues.
At your marks. Ready?
Kushaeva closer to the camera. Sienna Kopf on the right. And both climbers got a pretty handy start there, and Sienna Kopf certainly quicker in the lower section, but Kushaeva's just begun to pull away in the second 2/3 and takes it in 9.37. That was the top out. So Russia already guaranteed to take all the medals in Youth B women because they have got 4 women through to the last 4. An extraordinary speed climbing program they have over there. And we're straight on with the Youth B round of 8 for the men. Anton Kulba, there he is being clipped on of Russia, and Omar Almatov of Kazakhstan.
At your marks.
So Kuba on the left, Almatov on the right. Almatov looked like he got the marginally better launch, but since then it's been all Kulba, and he's just extending that lead further and further. 7.32 for him. Second time in the 7.3s. He was 7.37 the first time, 7.32 this time. Interestingly enough, the only other climber in this Youth B competition that got anywhere near that time of 7.32 was 7.53 from his compatriot Evgeny Kuzin.
At your marks.
So this time, Milos Bujak, excuse me, on the left takes on Jordan Fishman, the USA. Issue
Okay,
there.
reservation.
Bujak just raised his hand, something he's not happy with. Climbers are entitled to do that at that stage of the start procedure.
At your marks.
I think one or two people just realising are on the camera there. Hi, Mum. So Milos Bujak, Jordan Fishman. Fishman's on the right.
Ready?
Now they launch, and Bujak, can he use that scurrying style to the same effect in this race as well? He's going to have to work hard because Jordan Fishman's got some real pace and requires 7:40 from Fishman, but 7.21. Bujak, real pace. And watch it again. So 7.4 versus 7.21. The race is already getting very quick here.
On the left, from Italy, Jacopo Stefani. On the right, from Ukraine, Fedir Razinkov.
So Fedir Razinkov, who you can just see on the right now as we look at it, takes on Jacopo Stefani. Jacopo Stefani, 8.28 for him in the previous round, 8.1 flat for Fedir.
At your marks. Ready?
Stefani on the left, Razinkov on the right. Both were quick in the previous round, but Stefani looking quicker in this one, and he will take it in 7.23. Blistering times in this Youth B speed final here in Innsbruck. 7.23 sees him through. Jacopo Stefani.
So, the last two of this final round.
So this is now the last two of this
On the left,
round of 8.
Evgeny Kusin, Russia. On the right, Joshua Murray, USA.
At your marks.
So Evgeny Kuzin on the left, Josh Murring
Ready?
of the United States on the right. Kuzin was fast in the previous round, 7.53. But Murring's got some pace as well. I think Kuzin's got the lead at this stage, and he will take it. 7.39, but 7.75. Very good time from Josh. So there's the round of 8 concluded. We're back onto the women, and this is for a place in the big final. That is the race to decide who gets the silver and who gets the gold medal. The runner-up in this race will then go to the small final, which is the race to decide who ends up 4th and who ends up with the bronze medal. Polina Kulagina, Valeria Slobodchikova. So all Russia, as the second race will be Russia. We already know we'll take all the medals in the Youth B female category.
Ready?
Good start from both climbers, but it was Slobodchikova who got the marginally better one, but since then it's been all Kulagina, and she's just extending that lead as she goes and stops the clock. 9:02. Really good climbing from her. She's moderated her pace perfectly throughout. 9.63 from Slobodchikova.
Next two on the left. Daria Potapova, Russia. On the right, Kamila Kushaeva, Russia. So again, all Russian affair in the semi-finals. As I mentioned,
Whoever wins this will take on Polina Kulagina in the big final, who's so far paced herself perfectly. 9.34, 9.22, 9.02 for her.
Back to presentation.
The athletes will go back to presentation. Potapova was 9.70, followed by 9.51. Kushaeva was 9.62, followed by 9.37. So Kushaeva faster in both her races, but not by much versus Potapova. So now they go head to head. And Potapova looks at me like she got the marginally better start, but stalled pretty quickly. Kushaeva being given an advantage. Can she hold on to it? I think she might. And they are dead heat. 9.21. She had it in her hand. She looks absolutely furious with herself.
I don't know what's going on now.
She really had that one, and it was a little slip just there that cost her absolute dead heat. So they're just having the procedure explained to them. We had this in a World Cup earlier this year. Although the timing device can record to 1/1000th of a second, they will have to run again. It only counts as a win, in inverted commas, if you win by 100th of a second, a time that is visible on our timing device. So even though one of them will have gone marginally quicker, if it's less than 100th of a second, it's a rerun. Of course, the climbers do practice back-to-back runs. Certainly not easy, but can be done. Both athletes trying to stay in the zone as they figure out when they're going to go for their rerun. It looks like it's going to be straight away.
So they just get a minute to catch their breath.
They will just have a short rest period to recover.
And we use the time for a
But there will be a rerun. As I say, there is a timing system that narrows it down to below 100th of a second. But in the sake of fairness, it's such a small margin that you have to win by a clear 100th of a second, which, let's face it, is not exactly a long time. So they will run again.
At your marks.
So it's Potapova taking on Kushaeva for a second time in as many minutes. Can one of them take it this time? It looked like a fast start from Potapova, certainly wasn't a false one. And she's once again allowed Kushaeva to have a lead. Will Kushaeva bring it home this time? She stumbles again. And it's Potapova who goes through 9.76, 10.05 from Kushaeva. Have another look at that top out again. Kushaeva had a lead and again stumbled. It's that right foot. She will be absolutely kicking herself because she twice had a lead going into the last couple of meters of the route and couldn't bring it home.
From Poland on the right, Bouldering.
So Anton Kulba of Russia takes on Miloš Bujak. Expect fireworks here. Kulba was 7.31 in the last round, 7.21 from Miloš Bujak. Expect a very fast time from both men. One of them will need to be blisteringly quick to win this. Anton Kulba on the left, Miloš Bujak on the right. This for a place in the big final.
Ready?
The runner-up will still have a chance at a bronze medal, but these two want gold, and it's Kulba who fired out of the blocks and climbs cleanly while Bujak slipped heavily early on. And Kulba takes it, still a very fast time, 7.02. He's into the final. Small final for Miloš Bujak.
Second couple is out with Jakubos Stefani from Italy.
So, second semi-final in the men's Youth B. Let's have another look at that top out. Is a
On the right.
very low slip there from Bujak. From there, Kuba just had to bring it home, but with 7.02, he did a lot more than that. Jacopo Stefani, closest to the camera, went more than a second quicker on his second run than he did on his first.
Ready?
Takes on Evgeny Kuzin. Kuzin bolted out of the blocks and left Stefani behind, only to then slip himself, and Stefani's got a clear run to the victory here. Just needs to keep his head and does it. 8.15.
For Jacopo Stefani.
Fairly audible encouragement coming from the crowd for Jacopo.
So now we'll continue with the presentation.
So now we see the athletes presented once again to the crowd, just the top four. And in the women's Youth B category, it is all Russia. All four climbers across the small and the big final are Russian. None of the climbers looking like they're really that keen on being here. I think they'd rather just stay in the zone. There we go, bit of a smile breaking. Look like they'd rather just stay in their zone, get on with it. Let the crowd get another chance to have a look at them.
And we continue with the male in the small final.
We'll then have the same for the men.
And from Russia, Evgeny Kuzin. And in the big final,
Russia with not quite the same domination
Anton
in
Kulma.
the men's competition.
And from Italy,
See there, Milos
Jacopo
Bujak,
Stefani.
winner of the European Cup in speed in his home country back in May. Absolutely a contender to win here. Also got a win just down the road in Imst in 2016 in the European Youth Cup. So he's a man who's keen to break up this Russian dominance of the Youth B.
Small final.
He won't do it today, of course. He's in the small final, but his time will come. He's looked fast here.
Okay, they just need some time to get on their shoes.
Okay, so the climbers, as you might be able to hear the venue MC telling us, just getting their shoes on, getting ready to climb. Polina Kulagina will take on Daria Potapova. For the gold medal in the women's Youth B, and in the men's it would be Valeria Slobodjakova against Kamila Kushaeva. You can see the crowd there enjoying the evening sunshine. It is an absolutely stunning night here in Austria, the capital of the Alps, as the tourist board would have it. Confluence of the Inn and Brenner valleys. Not too far up the road from our last senior event in Arco. 2.5 hours up the road, and a lot of the senior climbers still young enough to qualify for Youth World Championships. Many more of them have just come to Innsbruck purely to watch and to make the most of the extraordinary training facility that's been built here, the Kletterzentrum.
Some seconds. And then we start with the small final.
Crowd have had a lot of speed climbing to watch today. We had qualifying rounds for both these age groups. This now the business end of things. You can see it, the Karwendel Mountains poking out. There were questions being asked about whether they still existed after the rain we had earlier this week.
And on the right from
Might have just heard the venue MC introducing our small final here. Valeria Slobodchikova against Kamila Kushaeva. Kushaeva will be on the right, as I say, all Russia here.
At your marks. Ready?
Slobodchikova closest to the camera as Kushaeva is on the right. Away cleanly, Kushaeva got a healthy lead at this stage, but we saw a couple of slips from her earlier on. Can she sort it out this time? She can. 9.59 lands her the bronze medal. 9.59. Slobodchikova looks absolutely inconsolable. Let's have another look at the top out. As I say, Kushaeva had a couple of slips earlier on. Much cleaner this time, 9.59. So this for the gold medal here in the female Youth B in Innsbruck. Youth World Championships. Polina Kulagina takes on her compatriot Daria Potapova. Potapova's there on the right, just getting clipped in. There she is. So the climber's ready. Crowd ready. The DJ doing his bit with the evocative soundtrack. Kulagina on the left, Potapova lines up on the right. It's all Russia as it was in the small final. Potapova looked like she got the marginally better start, but this is tight at this stage. This is of course for the gold medal here in Innsbruck. Kulagina looks like she might take it. She's got a lead. She's got a gold medal. 8.84. She is the winner. Youth B World Champion. 9.25 for Potapova. Kulagina looks like she can't quite believe it. Lovely sportsmanship. Have another look at the top out. It was close, very close, less than half a second in it. There it is. So, there's Bujak of Poland out. Evgeny Kuzin of Russia, and there he is, getting clipped in. He's on the right hand side as we look at the wall.
At your marks.
Bujak very quick today, 7.25 and 7.21 earlier on. Eventually knocked out in the semi-final, but he has a chance for a bronze medal here. He has a very good chance, but this is going to be very tight. And it's just taken by Evgeny Kuzin. 7.23. He takes the bronze medal. Again, nice to see sportsmanship for both climbers. Bujak just missing out by 2/100ths of a second on the bronze medal. Let's have another look. It was tight. That's what 2/100ths of a second looks like in slow motion. So Jacopo Stefani now of Italy on the right takes on Anton Kulba of Russia. Kulba has been pretty close to getting under 7 seconds here. Stefani, meanwhile, he's been down to 7.23. This will be fast. Expect fireworks. And Stefani got a much better start. Kulba is going to have to do some real work here, and I'm not sure he can, but both men stumble. It's going to be who stumbles less. It is Stefani. Takes it 8.06. Youth World Champion. That race, it was almost like last man standing. They both made big mistakes in the middle section of the route, but it's Stefani who takes it in 8.06. Not his fastest time of the day, but it matters not. You're racing the man next to you, and there we see it.
So just a short break.
You saw it there, a huge stumble from both climbers, and Stefani didn't seem as if he could quite get his momentum going again. Without further ado, we will be straight into the juniors final, the oldest category of climbers represented here in Innsbruck, and some of the names will be familiar to regular World Cup viewers. A lot of these competitors take place in the Senior World Cups. You can see sun setting on the mountains. Lovely evening here in Innsbruck. Apologies if there's a bit of sound interference. The lead climbing wall is right next to our commentary position here in Innsbruck, and one of the cherry pickers carrying two of our route setting team just going past me. So as I say, there is the lead wall. Like just about everything else here at the Kletterzentrum in Innsbruck, absolutely extraordinary facility, vast resources and effort been thrown into making the facilities what they are here. And I know we haven't broadcast any lead climbing yet, but when we do, you will see that the lead climbing is up to the exact same extraordinary standards that the bouldering facilities are up to as well. Speaking about the Kletterzentrum here in Innsbruck, we had a look around it earlier this week.
Yeah, I'm Rainer Scherer. I'm the manager of this climbing gym. I was a national trainer for 25 years for the Austrian national team, and since 2 years I'm only busy with building up this new gym. We made the Tivoli gym. It's the old gym in Innsbruck in about 21. We opened it, and after 5 years we realized that it's much too small. So I was fighting for this new gym since 2005, and it took me a lot of time to convince the politicals, to convince the government that the climbing here is famous and we need more space. And it took me a long time, you know, changing in the political situations and stuff like that. But at the end, everybody was convinced that here in Innsbruck we needed something. And then at the end, I think it was 3 years ago, that was the starting point for this project. It took us 1.5 years to build and about 2.5 years to plan it. And now it's one of the biggest gyms. It's 6,000 square meters. It's 3,000 square meters indoor lead climbing, 1,500 square meters outdoor lead climbing, and 1,200 square meters of bouldering. And the funny thing in this gym is that it's two things together. It's a commercial climbing center and it's the national training center for the Austrian team. Now there's much more routes for training. There's speed, there's all the disciplines combined that we need in Olympic for the Olympic format. We just need the athletes and the training and the mind to train. We don't need much more facility now. But I think for the future, yes, other citizens and other countries, they will come to have a look, and then maybe they make the same thing, because what is clear is that if you have a big gym, it's working really good. If you have a lot of small things, it's much more, how to say, concurrence between the gyms. And here the situation is clear. Everybody wants to climb here, so you don't need a big gym near Innsbruck.
I'm Jörg Verhoeven, and I've lived in Innsbruck for about 12, 13 years now. The old facility had very little, technical stuff to work on. There was
Sorry to interrupt world-class all-rounder Jörg Verhoeven and a member of our route setting team here in Innsbruck. But we're underway with the female juniors final. So we've already had Youth B, that's the youngest climbers here. Now we've got the oldest climbers here, the juniors. And as I said, a lot of the names here will be familiar if you're used to watching our senior World Cups. Elizaveta Ivanova being one of them. Grace McKeon of the USA takes her on. Grace on the right, Elizaveta on the left. This replacing the round of 8, round of 16 here in Innsbruck. Junior speed final, and Ivanova got a good start, but she's being made to work pretty hard for this. Grace McKeon also got some pace, but I think Ivanova will take it. She will in 8.76. Have another look at the top out. Go.
Next climb on the left.
So once again, in a mirror of our previous race, it's Russia against the USA. Ksenia Petrova against Amanda Wooten of the USA.
At your marks.
Ksenia Petrova on the left, Amanda Wooten of the USA on the right. As I say, like our previous race, it's Russia on the left, USA on the right. And Wooten absolutely flew out the blocks, and she's extending the lead that she earned early on. And if anything, that lead is still growing, and she takes it in 8.88. 9.65 for her opponent. Elma Fleuret is out now in the left-hand lane. Again, she'll be familiar to regular viewers of senior speed climbing. Silvia Porta of Italy, her opponent. Porta furthest from the camera in the black leggings. Elma Fleuret closest to the camera there in the grey trousers.
At your marks. Ready?
Porter just twitched before she went and stumbles almost immediately, and Fleuret, I think, just had a quick look down and right, and she'll know that she doesn't have to work too hard to win, and yet she still slipped, and Porter takes it. 11.97. Elma Fleuret, I think, had a good look down and right, about midway up the route. Let's see if we can see it. That's the slip. And that cost her. Yes, I think she had a good look down and right to see where Porter was, and then seemed to resume fine, but perhaps lost her concentration. She is out. Elma Fleuret gone. Early surprise here. So, on the left, again, Team USA, Claire Burfind, fresh from winning the bouldering 2 nights ago, takes on Alexandra Volkova of the Ukraine.
Ready?
Look of concentration on Claire's face. As I say, crowned bouldering champion earlier this week and looking pretty handy here in the speed as well. Claire Burfind, she's got half a body length of lead. Needs to work hard to hold on to it, and will do so. 9.46 for her. Alexandra Volkova didn't actually manage to stop the time at the top. Of course, it's not just a case of slapping anywhere. You have to be somewhat accurate to stop the timer. Volkova just missed. So Claire Burfine goes through. What a fantastic week she's having here in Innsbruck.
Next start on the left for Russia.
So again, a familiar face. Daria Khan, Laura Stuckler, already been in action this week in the bouldering. And with some success too.
Ready?
Daria Khan, closest to our camera, on the left as we look at the one, Stuckler on the right. And Daria Khan got a better start and had a small lead that she's just about hanging on to, but Laura Stuckler making her really work for this one. Daria Khan takes it in 8.74. So Piper Kelly of the USA will be out next. There she is, just taking her jacket off, left-hand lane. Taking on Giorgia Randi of Italy.
On the right for Italy, Giorgia Randi.
Piper Kelly just taking a bit longer to head over to get clipped in. Lost in her thoughts. She'll take on Giorgia Randi of Italy. Piper Kelly, there she is, closest to the camera with Randi on the right. Both launched cleanly, but Randi looked like she was quicker in the earlier couple of meters, but this remains a close one. Kelly, if anything, now taken the lead and will hold on to it in 9.21. She's through. .21.
Next starter on the left for Venezuela, Leslie Romero. And on the right for Kazakhstan, Margarita Agambayeva.
Leslie Romero. You can see her there, just about to come into the shot. Takes on Margarita Agambayeva. There she is, left-hand lane, wearing 404. Just twitched before she went, and it absolutely launched her up the first few moves. Leslie Romero almost unopposed here. So many slips from Agambayeva, and 9.59 sees her through. Nice clean run, clear slap of the timer at the top.
The last two in this first final round. Russia on the left.
So this is the last race in the round of 16 in this Speed Juniors final here in Innsbruck. Katerina Barashuk of Russia takes on Emerson Neyron of the USA.
At your marks. Ready?
Once again, a clean start. Barashuk with a small lead, but very marginal. Slightly bigger now after that slip from Emerson. She takes it in 9.28.
That's the clear win for Ekaterina Barashuk.
So, without any further ado, we will have the men's round of 16 in the juniors here.
So we continue with the juniors male final. And there we have in the first final round on the left, representing the Ukraine, Constantine Pavlenko.
So Constantine Pavlenko, again a name that you might recognise from the World Cups. Adrien Lemaire of France, there he is close to the camera. Big difference in the builds here, but we see that in the Senior World Cups. Pavlenko much more thick set.
Ready?
But he was slightly slower off the mark, but if there was a disadvantage, he's quickly reined it in, and he is looking very fast here. Constantine Pavlenko takes it in 6.77. Was it Pavlenko? 6.77. Interestingly enough, I was chatting to one of the French coaches the other day, coaches the speed climbing team, and he was saying we could see times down to 6.5 seconds in this junior competition. If that's anything to go by, he might even have been being slightly pessimistic. Seung-Byung Lee of Korea is in the left-hand line. Luke Muring of the USA is in the right.
At your marks. Ready?
Both got a good start. Luke, if anything, had an early lead, but I think he might have surrendered it here. I think Lee's just got this one. He has 6.69, beats 6.93.
Next one on lane A from Russia, Lev Rudatsky.
Lev Rudatsky,
On lane E from Kazakhstan,
left-hand lane.
Alimsan Misabekov.
Ramzan Mizervikov of Kazakhstan is on the right, wearing 467. There he is. So we've already seen
At your marks.
2 winners so far, going under 7 seconds.
Ready?
Lev Rudatsky, one big breath before he set off. Whatever he's doing, it certainly seems to be working at this stage. He's flying, 6.63, fastest time of the day so far. Again, very fast times here in the junior speed climbing. You can see him absolutely flying. Pretty much faultless run. Right hand just missed towards the top, but he was on his way by then. Momentum was with him. Barely slowed him down at all. Max Hammer now of the USA, close to the camera in the rather fetching pink trousers. Fedor, Trukhanov of Russia. It's on the right.
At your marks. Ready?
Plenty of encouragement coming from the American contingent in the crowd. You might be able to hear them, and it's worked as well because he got a good start, but a stumble relatively low down might cost him. It certainly will. Trukhanov takes it 6.9 flat. Let's have another look. Max got a really good start, but it was that right foot that cost him. Just slipped. Heavy slip. Again, this will be a name out on the stage and a face that will be familiar to you. Gianluca Zodda of Italy. Racing another familiar face. Kai Leitner, 4th in the bouldering earlier in the week. Looking pretty relaxed as ever. Is he allowed to talk to the crowd like that? A real entertainer, Kai. You might remember in the bouldering, did a big dynamic move, swung out, and as he did so, he turned to G up the crowd, waved his hand and poked his tongue out. And you saw him there just before his first run in this speed climbing final, signalling to people in the crowd. Now it gets serious. Zodder flew out of the blocks. Really different builds, these climbers. Zodder much more compact, but his scurrying style working a treat for him. 6.57, 9.04 after a stumble from Kai. Gianluca Zodder goes through 6.57.
So now we're facing an American duel.
It was that right hand
On the left,
cost Kai there.
Jeffrey Cole. On the right, Michael Finn-Henry, both from the USA.
So it's all USA this time. Gentry Cole and Michael Finn-Henry. Gentry on the left, Michael on the right. No signalling to the crowd this time like we saw from Kai. Business time. Michael Finn-Henry furthest from the camera, Gentry Cole closest.
Ready? Falls up to the right.
False start, we're saying it's on the right. Michael Finn-Henry doesn't look too happy about that, because to me he didn't even move.
Wait a second.
Of course he could have unweighted the pad. Let's have a look.
Watch the video.
Keep an eye on his left foot. I'm not sure how that is a false start. Of course, there is a point at which you unweight the pad enough that it registers that you've started, but it didn't look to me, even on the slow motion, that Michael did much wrong there. Could perhaps have weighted the foot that was already on the wall. We shall see. As I say, it's very sensitive time, the equipment. I'm certainly not questioning the equipment, but it might have registered a false start when it was actually just him shifting. We'll see what the judges make of that one. Bit of a strange one.
So, it looks like
We'll let you know when we know more.
final round. Just with the next couple.
Hassan Asrar of Iran. There he is, closest to the camera.
From Iran on the left.
Vasily Abdurakhmanov of Russia.
Abdurakhmanov from
Easy for
Russia
me to
on
say.
the right.
At your marks.
Asrar here of Iran. On the left, compatriot of the current world record holder.
Ready?
Has he got the pace of Reza? We've got
Stop.
Start
Falls up to the right.
from Vasily.
and we're being told that's another false start, and it was Vasily, right hand lane.
Someone's going to check.
And Hassan Asrar has disappeared off.
Delegates just watching videos. While we continue.
Okay, and once again, the judge is seemingly having a look at that. Hassan not running unopposed. Has also disappeared back in. Well, we shall see. A couple of strange ones in a row there. I'll try and find out what happened. We're told it was two false starts, but I think particularly in the case of Michael Finn-Henry, it certainly didn't look like one.
The USA duel.
Lovely view of the mountains behind Innsbruck. That rumour Spitze there on the left. Good bit of local knowledge for you.
No. Could someone bring them popcorn?
So, as the Pink Panther rings out around the venue. I assume in reference to the detective work being done by the judges. The crowd waits. We have one more race in the round of 16 in the male juniors final here in Innsbruck. We currently have a delay. As the judges check a couple of false starts. with the crowd being made to wait. As I say, we're not quite finished this round of 16. Those of you just joining us, this is the junior speed final here at the Youth World Championships in Innsbruck. This is juniors being the oldest category represented. The DJ showing his sense of humour again. I'm still waiting for you. Now ringing out around the venue. More lovely views. The snow line creeping down here in Innsbruck. Wouldn't expect to sneeze snow that low at this time of year, but that's what we've got. So we're just having a look at a couple of false start incidents from earlier on. Just trying to find out for you what happened with those two false start incidents, both slightly strange ones. Ihsan Azra, who was in the left-hand lane on the previous one, disappeared back in, didn't run unopposed. The sun just about holding on here. The temperature is really beginning to drop now, though. We'll take clear and cold any day after what we had earlier this week, though. So just to recap where we're up to here, we've already had the round of 16 in the female juniors. They have been narrowed down to 8, and we've had 7 races in the male juniors final out of the first 8. However, there have been 2 false start incidents in the last 2 races, and I've been told that the judges are looking at them both. I will bring you more information if and when I get it. But in the meantime, that's not such a bad view to look at now, is it? In the Women's Youth B, which has already run, you can watch our replay later on this evening when this gets put onto YouTube. Camilla Kusher-Eva took the bronze medal, 9.59 her time in the small final. Daria Potapova took the silver, 9.25, and in 8.84 seconds, blistering speed, Polina Kulagina took the gold. And in the male youth B, it was Evgeny Kuzin in third, Anton Kulba in second, and Jacopo Stefani in first place. And the man they're all trying to emulate, of course, former world champion Si Jin-song.
我是钟其新，我来自中国，是中国攀岩队的一名队员。我是从2005年开始攀岩，是在江西应用技术职业学院一个学校里面开始攀岩的。那个时候我3个项目我都是挺喜欢的，最后我的教练，丁成亮，他让我选择了速度伞。首先，他给我带来了很多快乐，让我认识了很多世界各地的朋友，也让我在中国有了很大的一个名气，让我从一个学生成为了世界冠军，成为了世界上面的一个焦点。去年我也是刚刚结婚，然后今年呢又得到了2个宝贝，然后 目前我特别想回到训练当中，我要准备今年的巴黎的世界锦标赛。我还是想继续去参加比赛，去打比赛，因为这是我一直梦寐以求我要去参加的比赛。现在也是积极努力备战吧。谢谢大家观看，欢迎大家关注巴黎世界锦标赛，我在那里等着你，巴黎见。
We did, of course, see Xi Jin in Paris. He wasn't able to win the World Championships, unfortunately, but he's also been in action recently in the Senior Speed World Cup, excuse me. Saw him in Arco just over a week ago. He was in good spirits as ever. Not quite recaptured his form of a few years ago. He's got the ability. So we're still waiting on the appeal system here in Innsbruck. Two slightly unusual false start incidents in the male junior final. So as we wait, just to keep you entertained, here is a quick look at one of the better known boulders in the World Cup scene, Jeremy Bondet.
Je m'appelle Jérémy Bonder, j'ai 24 ans. J'ai découvert l'escalade en classe initiation en CP. Suite à ça, 2 ans après, j'ai intégré le club de Cahors-Montagne dans le sud de la France. Et depuis, maintenant, ça fait 16 ans que je grimpe. Et plus précisément, ça fait 4 ans que je fais partie du pôle France de Fontainebleau. J'ai été étudiant en situation classique jusqu'en 3e. Après, j'ai intégré un CFA qui m'a formé dans le métier du bâtiment en charpente couverture. Après, de 15 à 20 ans, j'ai travaillé en apprentissage. Et à l'âge de 20 ans, j'ai stoppé un peu le travail pour m'investir à fond dans mon projet sportif. Suite à ça, j'ai réussi à faire ma première finale de Coupe du Monde en 2011. Et en 2012, j'ai intégré le pôle France de Fontainebleau. Ma motivation tous les jours, c'est déjà le plaisir que j'ai à m'entraîner. Je me suis fixé des objectifs, des rêves. Du coup, tous les jours, quand je me rends à l'entraînement, je pense à ça. Et quand je ressens un petit coup de moins bien, un petit coup de dur, un petit coup au moral, tout ça me remotive. Je mets un point d'honneur vraiment à ne pas avoir de regrets et essayer de tout faire bien pour que même si je ne parviens pas, au moins j'aurai tout essayé. Mon rêve, c'est d'être champion du monde et de l'être à Paris devant un public français, devant sa famille, ça sera encore plus beau. Après, je me fixe pas plus de... Je me donne pas plus de pression que ça. Je vais aborder ces championnats du monde avec beaucoup d'envie, avec beaucoup de plaisir et le résultat sera ce qu'il sera parce qu'on ne peut pas être maître de toute la situation.
Pour préparer cet objectif majeur, on a mis en place certains outils de préparation physique particuliers qui sont nouveaux, comme on peut le voir dans la zone du pôle France, ce qu'on appelle la Motherboard. Donc ça, c'est vraiment un outil de préparation, on appelle ça de la préparation orientée, et qui a beaucoup aidé et qui aide beaucoup Jérémy pour se préparer physiquement pour Bercy.
La Motherboard, c'est un plan où il y a 2 phases. Il y a une phase rouge et une phase bleue qui est symétrique. Le but, c'est tous les mouvements qu'on peut faire à gauche, on peut aussi les faire à droite. Mes entraîneurs nous donnent des projets. Le but de ces projets, c'est d'arriver à les faire. Si on arrive à les faire, on penche un peu plus le pan parce qu'il est inclinable. Du coup, on les rend plus durs. Et ça permet que le bloc, il est continuellement plus dur. Ça nous oblige à mettre plus d'intensité, plus de précision dans le mouvement. Et logiquement, ça va nous faire progresser.
Ses plus gros points forts, c'est ce qu'on appelle la tenue de prise, donc la capacité à verrouiller des toutes petites prises, des prises microscopiques. Donc il a énormément de force dans les doigts. Après, sa plus grosse force, maintenant que je le connais bien, c'est sa détermination, sa capacité à s'investir et sa volonté. Et tout ce qu'il met, quand il décide de faire quelque chose, il le fait à 100% et ça, c'est sa plus grosse force.
Je pense que la fédération a mis le pôle France ici à Fontainebleau, c'est pas par hasard, c'est que c'est un site mondialement connu, que les meilleurs grimpeurs au monde connaissent et même au-delà des meilleurs grimpeurs, beaucoup de pratiquants au monde viennent de pays étrangers, ils viennent pour découvrir la forêt. Et je pense que dans mon entraînement, c'est très important et de s'aérer la tête, mais en termes de gestuel, on apprend vraiment beaucoup mieux par le lien de la forêt et des blocs en extérieur que des situations qu'on peut retrouver en salle.
Tu choisis soit de prendre réglette mono, moi c'est ce que je fais, puis là je jette.
Soit
mono réglette.
Tu sautes dans le bac.
Tu sautes, ouais, parce que vraiment tu peux sauter, c'est un truc, ça rentre, c'est vraiment une poche.
D'accord.
Après tu fais une traction sur un bras dessus, tu vas chercher là-haut, faut peut-être aller brosser un coup parce que le plat, je pense, ça n'a pas été fait depuis un moment.
Ok.
Mais c'est une base en...
En tout cas, ça a l'air top. Après ma carrière, j'ai dans l'idée de découvrir des secteurs connus un peu partout dans le monde. Et voilà, voyager, je pense que j'ai beaucoup voyagé grâce aux Coupes du Monde, mais aussi voyager vraiment pour découvrir des sites mondialement connus. Si j'ai le temps et les financements possibles, j'aimerais voyager et découvrir les sites les plus connus au monde.
And we're back in action here with the male junior finals once again. Sorry to interrupt Jeremy Bonnet there, but told there were some issues with the timing pad, so we are having a rerun. I said at the time it looked a bit of a strange incident to me. Michael Finn Henry was called down for a false start. Michael Cole, as I say, sorry, Michael Finn Henry, excuse me, getting my names mixed up, was on the right, and he is again, and they run. Gentry Cole got a good start. Michael Finn Henry got some work to do here, but his size really helping him through that middle section. He powered through it and he takes it in 7.31. Yeah, Michael Finn Henry, real pace through that middle section. If you're wondering what the delay was, if you're just tuning in, he was originally flagged for a false start. And I didn't think it was one, and neither did the judges, because they've rerun, and the same thing is happening here with Ehsan Asrar, closest to the camera. Vasily Abdurakhmanov of Russia on the right-hand side, furthest from our camera right now. He again was also signalled to have false started, and it looked a bit of a strange one. So once again we have a rerun. We've already seen these two climbers out. Asrar, as I mentioned earlier, compatriot of Reza Ali Porsche and Zandifar, the current world record holder. And whatever they've got in the water, it seems to be working, because he takes it in 7.20. So he's 7.20. Yeah, whatever's in the water in Iran seems to work for speed climbers. He had quite a big stumble, both feet clean off the wall, but recovered and took it in 7.20. So we're now back with the normal order. This is the last race in the round of 16 in the male juniors. Carlos Granja of Ecuador takes on Alessandro Gari of Italy. You can see him down the right hand side, the long hair, fairly hard to miss Alessandro.
At your marks. Ready?
Grania looked as if he was twitching slightly before he went. Both climbers climbing well here. This will be tight. 6.66 for Grania sees him through. 6.66. The number of the beast. Let's see. The top out there, it was tight. Both climbing well. Chigari had a quick look over to the left just before the top. Grania took it. 6.66. 6.68, of course, is the neighbour of the beast. So, we're on to the women's round of 8 here in Innsbruck. Elizaveta Ivanova on the left, Amanda Wotton on the right. Just ignore those graphics there. This is Elizaveta Ivanova against Amanda Wotton. And both started well, but Wotton has a slight lead. She's going to have to work so hard to hold on to it, though, because Ivanova's flying, and she takes it in 8.6. You see there, Amanda Wotton looked like she had a lead at mid-height, but a big stumble. She just dropped onto that right arm. That cost her. Elizaveta Ivanova progresses. So, another American climber, Claire Burfind, junior world champion, crowned a couple of nights ago. Sylvia Porter, closest to the camera, is her opponent. And it was a relatively sluggish start from both climbers, but Claire seems to have found her rhythm quickest, and she's climbing herself into a good lead here, and she's climbing herself into the last 4. 9.28 sees her through. Claire Burfind could easily end up with a medal in 2 disciplines.
At your marks. Ready?
So Daria Khan takes on Piper Kelly of the USA. Next race in this round of 8. Some big encouragement coming from the crowd. Daria Khan had a lead, almost surrendered it, and regains it now, and she will take this in 8.64. 1/10 of a second quicker than her previous run.
So the last 2 in this final round. Leslie Romero on lane A for Venezuela. And on lane B, Ekaterina Barashchuk.
So Leslie Romero now on the left, Ekaterina Barashchuk on the right.
At your marks.
It's Romero closest to the camera. This for a place in the last 4. And she bolted out the blocks, Romero, but Barashchuk also climbing well, particularly through that middle section, and she might just have regained the lead here. I think she's going to take this one. She is 8.58. She is through. She looked second favourite in that one until the last 5 meters and just pulled something very special out of the bag.
We continue the next round in the May Juniors final.
So, again, just ignore those graphics. This is the round of the semi-final for the men. It's Constantine Pavlenko on the left, Seong-Byeon Lee on the right. This for a place in the big final. Remember, whoever wins this will progress to the big final. contest the gold medal. The runner-up will progress to the small final and contest the bronze.
Ready?
Slight twitch from Lee before he went, but they're both away cleanly, and Pavchenko had an early lead, but Lee has reined him in and will take it in 6.41 to 6.53 to Pavlenko. See it again there. Apologies, I was just getting my order mixed up. This is of course the round of 8. It's not for a place in the big final. My apologies. This is our 4th speed climbing final this evening. Trying to keep all my papers in order. I do apologise. Either way, Seungbom Lee progresses, and he will be in either the big or the small final. So, Lev Rudatsky of Russia takes on his compatriot, Fedor Hanov.
At your marks. Ready?
Rudatsky on the left, Hanov on the right. Clean start from both and fast climbing from both. Rudatsky, that scurrying style seems to be carrying him to the win. It is 6.39. He's into the final 4.
Next climber on the left, Gianluca Zotta, Italy. And on the right,
So blistering speed earlier on from that man there, Gianluca Zotta, 6.57. Takes on Michael Finn Henry, the USA, who is through in 7.31.
At your marks. Ready?
So Zotta on the left, Michael Finn Henry on the right, and Zotta absolutely flew out the blocks, but so did Michael Finn Henry, and he's climbed much cleaner so far. Zotta doing everything he can to catch up, but he won't manage it. 6.81. Michael Finn Henry is through into the last 4. He's through. Let's have another look at it. He climbed really neatly. Zotta had a big slip early on, and you could see he was going like crazy trying to catch up, but it wasn't enough. Okay, so Asan Azrar takes on Carlos Grania of Ecuador. Carlos on the right-hand side as we look at it. There he is, furthest from our camera. Just the second climb is to be clipped in. Taking slightly longer to get ready. For a place in the final 4.
At your marks.
Azrar closest to the camera, 7.20 for him in the previous round, 6.66 for Carlos. Both men fly out of the blocks. Grania looked like he had an early lead, and that lead is growing due to a big slip from Azrar. And Carlos Grania takes it 6.5 flat, fast time for him. That's what it looked like, 6.50.
there we have Elisaveta Ivanova, Russia, on the left.
So the climbers now race, the 4 remaining women, 4 remaining men. They race for a place in the big final. Both guaranteed to at least make the small final, the 3rd, 4th playoff. Claire Burfind could make it 2 medals in 2 events so far.
Ready?
She's got to beat the woman there, closest to the camera, Elizaveta Ivanova. both started well. The crowd going absolutely crazy, giving massive support to Claire. But Ivanova's got a lead here that I think she will just about hang on to. She will 8.41. She goes through, 9.17 for Claire. So Elizaveta Ivanova will contest the big final, but who will she take on? Claire Burfind, of course, still has a chance to win a bronze medal in the small final.
And Ekaterina Barashchuk from Russia on the right.
So Daria Khan takes on Ekaterina Barashchuk.
Ready?
Both women away quickly. Daria Khan opened up a lead. It's around a body length now, and it doesn't look like disappearing. She just needs to be clean and neat, and she is, and she's through in 8.34. She will win at least a silver medal, could make it gold. Let's have another look there. Daria Khan takes it. She's into the big final.
And there we have on the left from Korea, Seung-byung Lee. And on the right from Russia, Lev Rudatsky.
So, male juniors, round of 4. Seung-byung Lee of Korea. Just ignore those graphics. It's Seung-byung Lee against Liv Rudatsky.
Ready?
And Rudatsky absolutely flew out the blocks, but then had a major slip, and I think Lee's going to take this one. He is 6.45. He's through. 7.59 for Rudatsky.
The next two, Michael Finn-Henry from the USA on the left.
So Michael Finn-Henry of the USA is back out. Take on Carlos Grania of Ecuador. Both these climbers went under 7 in their previous run. Again, US crowd making themselves heard. This one will be very tight.
Ready?
Climbers pause. And now they go, and it looked like Carlos Grania got a slightly better start, and he's scurrying his way to the top here. Big slip from Michael Finn-Henry cost him 6.46. Michael Finn-Henry, due to that big slip, didn't actually record a time. Carlos Grania is through. So once again, we'll see the climbers being presented to the audience before the small and the big finals take place.
We continue with the presentation of our finalists.
As I say, the finalists now presented once again before they climb.
Just a public announcement first. The area behind the speed wall is also the warm-up area for tomorrow's lead competition.
As you can see, the last rays of light here in the Austrian Alps, Austrian region of Tyrol. We're pretty much in the city centre of Innsbruck. It's a very picturesque place. You can see the mountains from just about everywhere. And they are about to disappear into darkness. Another 20 minutes it'll be dark here. The night's getting shorter and shorter as autumn approaches. And these climbers will be climbing in the spotlight. There's Claire Burfine, closest to the camera. Here's Elizaveta Ivanova. She'll contest the big final against Daria Khan. There she is.
Continue with the male juniors final. In the small final from Russia.
And in the men's small final, Lev Radatsky is introduced to the crowd, and he'll take on this man, Michael Finn Henry.
In the big final from Korea.
And for the big final, Seungpyeon Lee of Korea.
And from Ecuador,
Carlos Grania of Ecuador. So the climbers head back to the transit zone.
And we just wait to get the first girls ready, and then we start with the female junior small final.
So this will be the female small final first. Claire Burfine against Katerina Barashuk. This one for the bronze medal. Female junior speed climbing, Youth World Championships. Claire managed to pace nicely, 9.28, 9.17. After a 9.46 in the round of 16. Not dipped under 9 just yet. Barashuk already has. We've seen some huge slips, as always, in the speed climbing. Precision could do the job, it might not be outright speed.
So please get ready for our female junior small final.
Climbers have been announced by the venue MC. We await their appearance on stage. It's been a packed day of speed climbing, but on the live coverage it's been a packed evening of speed climbing, and we are down to the last 4 races, small final and big final, juniors, men and women.
On the left, from the USA, Claire Burfine.
Here's Claire Burfine.
On the right, from Russia, Ekaterina Barashchuk.
Katerina Barashchuk on the right. Claire just has a last look at those starting holds. She's absolutely ecstatic, incredibly emotional after her win in the bouldering. Had a couple of days to recompose herself. She looks very much back in the zone here.
Ready?
Good start from both women, but Barashuk has a slight lead, I suspect. Claire reining her in though, and could take this. This is going to be so tight. Big slip from Claire, cost her at the top there. Claire doesn't look too disappointed, but it was a big slip. I think with 5 meters to go, she might have had a narrow lead. Let's have another look. So at that stage, she was in the lead. And it was just that left-hand landing on the last hold that cost her. She had to readjust, and the momentum was gone. So Elizaveta Ivanova against Daria Khan.
Ready?
Khan on the right, Ivanova on the left. And there's a false start.
It was a false start from Elizaveta.
And Elizaveta Ivanova, we've been told, has false started. Let's have a look. We have had some issues already with our timing devices. Yeah, she definitely shifted early. It doesn't look like she started earlier, but she definitely made a movement too early, and it has cost her. the gold medal. She will take the silver though. Let's have another look at it. It's not really a start, it's more of a twitch, but you see it. It's that movement there, I think, that's unweighted the pad. It was very tight. Daria Khan actually got the better start. She exploded up. It was as if Ivanova just twitched and then tried to return back to the start position, but by then it was too late. She had already registered a false start. Moody music ringing around the Innsbruck venue here, the Kletterzentrum. So we just await now the male juniors final. I assume there's no appeals going on with that false start from Ivanova. She definitely did twitch. As I say, it looked to me as if she twitched and was actually setting herself again before actually starting, but if you unweight the pad, it counts as your start. And the crowd awaiting the final. 2 races of this evening's action. This will be the male juniors final. We've just seen the female juniors final. I do wonder if there is actually an appeal going on here. Elizaveta Ivanova didn't look especially pleased with being told she'd false started. I don't think she agreed that she had. We shall see. There must be an appeal of some sort, because as I say, we're not normally waiting this long for the next final. Two races to go here this evening. It's been a packed schedule. We've had the Youth B final and now the Juniors final. We're just waiting for the men to come out to conclude their competition, decide the medals. A lot to pay for, of course. If you're just joining us and wondering what the delay is, we're just waiting here in Innsbruck for the male junior speed final, and that is the enormous lead wall where the lead climbing will take place. It is the most extraordinary facility, absolutely enormous wall covered in holds from just about every hold manufacturer you can think of. And speaking of lead climbing, while we wait for this male junior final, here's a lady that knows a thing or two about it, Jane Kim.
저는 한국의 클라이머 김자인이고요. 올해로 클라이밍 한 지 16년째 접어들고 있습니다. 처음 클라이밍을 시작했을 때는 굉장히 너무 컸어서 이렇게까지 오랫동안 클라이밍을 할 수 있을지 몰랐는데 아무래도 클라이밍이 처음에는 재밌어서라기보다는 뭔가 내가 잘하고 싶은 욕심에 열심히 했던 것 같아요. 근데 하다 보니까 클라이밍의 매력에 푹 빠져 있었고, 네, 지금은 클라이밍이 너무 재밌어요. 솔직히 저는 제가 이 자리에 있는 게 굉장히 신기할 때가 많아요. 왜냐면은 처음에 월드컵 처음 출전할 때 41등 예선 탈락으로 월드컵을 시작했고 처음부터 굉장히 눈에 띄는 선수가 아니었기 때문에 굉장히 세계 랭킹 1등에 있는 선수들을 보면은 너무 신기하고 정말 신 같고 그랬는데 제가 그 자리에 있다는 게 아직도 되게 신기할 때가 많고, 네, 그런 것 같아요. 이제 사람들이 제 등반을 보면서 되게 부드럽게 등반한다고 많이 말씀을 해주시는데 그게 뭔가 제가 그렇게 하려고 막 노력을 했다기보다는 그냥 클라이밍 할 때 어떤 편안한 느낌을 자연스럽게 쫓아가다 보니까 그런 저만의 등반 스타일이 만들어진 것 같습니다. 2004년부터 이제 월드컵에 출전했지만은 그때도 그렇고 지금도 그렇고 목표가 월드 랭킹 1등은 아니에요. 하지만은 정말 그냥 제가 주어진 것에 최선을 다하고 또 모든 순간을 즐겁게 클라이밍하고 대회도 역시 모든 순간에 최선을 다해서 또 완등을 위해서 클라이밍을 하는 게 제 목표입니다. 클라이밍의 즐거움을 주는 그런 클라이머로 기억되고 싶고요. 사람들이 저의 클라이밍 하는 모습을 보면서 아, 정말 클라이밍이 정말 재밌고 매력 있는 스포츠구나 하는 거를 알 수 있는 그런 클라이밍을 하고 싶습니다.
And here we go. Perfect timing, didn't have to interrupt Jane Kim. We're underway here in Innsbruck, the small final in the men's competition. I am assuming, I'm afraid I don't have any more information than you do, but I'm assuming there was no further appeal regarding that potential false start in the women's big final. I've just been told there will not be a rerun. It was a false start. So Michael Finn Henry, you can hear plenty of shouts in the crowd supporting him. Takes on Lev Rudatsky of Russia, closest to the camera. This for the bronze medal. And this time we have a clean start, no false start issues this time, and Michael Henry absolutely flying, and a stumble from Rudatsky means that he will take it in 6.66. Bronze medal for the USA, Michael Finn Henry, 6.66. Superb evening's work from him. 6.81 in his second round after a 7.31, and he gets his pace absolutely spot on this time, 6.66. Sung-Yong Lee of Korea, closest to the camera, he takes on Carlos Grania of Ecuador. This is our last race of what's been a packed evening here. There's plenty more speed climbing to come though, of course. Next weekend we'll have the Olympic format speed climbing. What a packed few days that's going to be. In the meantime, it will be lead climbing. So if you're a speed climbing fan, enjoy this, because you've got a few days to wait before our next section. It's Lee on the left, Grania on the right. Lee just twitched before he went and it seemed to slow him down. Grania seemed to have the middle section, and he might have the top section. He will have the gold medal, 6.39. Gold medal for Ecuador, silver medal for Korea. A tight race, won it by 0.04 of a second. And so that concludes what has been a very busy evening.
Just a few moments. And then we're going on with the awarding ceremony just in front of the bouldering wall. So again.
And so concludes a wonderful evening of speed climbing. It's now a couple of days break while the league qualifiers take place, but we'll be back in action on Thursday with the first lead semi-final. In the meantime, do stay with us. We will be live streaming the podiums from these two finals this evening. Thank you very much for watching.
I didn't understand that, Darian.
From the USA, Michael Finn Henry. And in the big final, from Korea, Seung-byung Lee. And from Ecuador, Carlos Granja. So give a big applause for your finalists. All right, please return to transit zone now. And we just wait to get the first girls ready, and then we start with the female junior small. Welcome all starters. On the left, from the USA, Claire Bourfine. And on the right, from Russia, Ekaterina Barashchuk.
At your marks. Ready?
That's the third place for Ekaterina Barashchuk. So we continue with our final. Please welcome the two finalists. On the left, from Russia, Elizaveta Ivanova. And on the right, from Russia, Daria.
Ready?
Yan.
Stop.
It was a false start from Elizaveta. And on the right, from the USA, Michael Finn Henry.
At your marks. Ready?
So now this is the male junior speed final. Please welcome on the left from Korea, Seung-byung Lee. And on the right from Ecuador, Carlos Granja.
At your marks. Ready?
will be presented by Mr. Christophe Millon, IFSC Technical Delegate, Mrs. Inge Stagger, Vice President of Austria Climbing, and Mr. Reinhard Eber, Head of the Sport Department of the land of Tyrol. Now, the bronze medalist, representing Russia, Kamila Kushaeva. Silver medalist, representing Russia, Daria Potapova. Gold medalist in 2017 Innsbruck IFSC Youth World Champion of Speed in the female Youth B category. Representing Russia, Polina Kulagina. Please stand for the national anthem of Russia. Big applause for the podium! And now, please welcome the medalists for the Speed Male Youth B. Bronze medalist, representing Russia, Evgeny Kuzin. representing Russia, Anton Kurba. Gold medalist and 2017 Innsbruck IFSC Youth World Champion of Speed in the male Youth B category, representing Italy, Jacopo Stefani. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Italy. Big applause for our podium! Representing Russia, Ekaterina Balashchuk. Silver Elisaveta Ivanova. Gold medalist and 2017 Innsbruck IFSC Youth World Champion of Speed, the juniors female category. Representing Russia, Daria Khan. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Russia. Big applause for our podium! And last but not least, please welcome the medalists for the Speed Juniors Male. Bronze medalist, representing the United States of America, Michael Finn Henry. Silver medalist, representing Korea, Seung-Gam Lee. Gold medalist and 2017 Innsbruck IFSC Youth World Champion of Speed, the juniors main category. Representing Ecuador, Carlos and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Ecuador. Tomorrow for another exciting day at the Youth World Championships in Innsbruck 2017.